It was a summer night in Los Angeles, one of those electric evenings where the city hums with music from every corner. Fans packed the small venue expecting Sabrina Carpenter's signature pop performance, soft vocals, dreamy visuals, and chart-topping hits. But when the lights dimmed, something unexpected happened. The crowd gasped as Sabrina walked onto the stage, not in glitter or satin, but in black leather, ripped jeans, and a red bandana tied across her forehead. The outfit was pure 1980s rebellion, straight out of a Guns N' Roses concert poster. The audience couldn't believe it. Was this really Sabrina Carpenter, the Disney-born pop darling, channeling Axl Rose? The whispers turned into cheers when the first notes hit, the unmistakable opening riff of Sweet Child O' Mine. The crowd went wild. Sabrina grabbed the mic, her voice raw and fearless, and began to sing the anthem that once shook the Sunset Strip. No dancers, no choreography, just pure, stripped-down rock energy. That night, Sabrina Carpenter wasn't just another pop star, she was a reminder that music's spirit of rebellion never dies, and nobody could have predicted what happened next. Sabrina's journey to that moment wasn't random. Long before she stepped on that stage in leather, she had grown up listening to her father's record collection, filled with legends like Fleetwood Mac, Aerosmith, and of course, Guns N' Roses. As a young artist, she was often boxed into pop, catchy hooks, glossy videos, and radio-friendly sounds. But behind the scenes, Sabrina admired artists who broke the rules. She once said in an interview, "I love the kind of music that makes your heart race, that makes you feel alive." By the time she reached her early 20s, Sabrina was ready to show the world a side they hadn't seen. Her songwriting became bolder, her performances more fearless. Covering a classic like Sweet Child O' Mine wasn't about shock value, it was about freedom. She wanted to prove that being an artist means exploring every corner of who you are, even the loud, wild, leather-clad side. That night's performance wasn't just a cover, it was a statement. Sabrina wasn't shedding her pop identity, she was expanding it. And when that guitar solo hit, everyone watching could feel it. This was the birth of a new era for her. Before we go deeper into Sabrina's performance, it's worth remembering why Sweet Child O' Mine carries so much weight. When Guns N' Roses released it in 1987, it wasn't just another rock song, it was an emotional explosion. Slash's opening riff became one of the most iconic in rock history, and Axl Rose's piercing voice turned every lyric into a scream of longing. It was a love song wrapped in rebellion, the perfect balance of danger and devotion. For a band known for chaos, this song revealed their heart. And now, decades later, Sabrina was reviving that same emotion, but with her own twist. She wasn't trying to imitate Axl, she was translating that raw energy into something feminine, modern, and powerful. She turned Sweet Child O' Mine into something haunting and beautiful, like a bridge between two eras. As she sang the line, "She's got eyes of the bluest skies," the crowd fell silent. For a few minutes, time stood still. The 1980s met 2020s and the walls between genres disappeared. It wasn't nostalgia, it was resurrection. When pictures from that night hit social media, chaos followed. Twitter exploded with fans sharing clips of Sabrina's transformation. "Pop princess turned rock goddess," one user wrote. Another joked, "Somewhere Axl Rose just smiled." She had pulled off something no one expected, blending 1980s rock style with 2020s confidence. The leather jacket, the eyeliner, the bandana, every detail screamed rebellion but still looked uniquely her. Fashion blogs broke down her look, comparing it to Axl's classic stage outfits from the Appetite for Destruction era. Even hardcore rock fans, usually skeptical of pop artists touching their sacred classics, gave her credit. One fan comment stood out: "She didn't copy the energy, she understood it." Sabrina had tapped into something deeper, the spirit of freedom that made rock and roll what it is. And as the views climbed and headlines spread, one thing became clear: this wasn't just a viral moment. It was a cultural collision, pop meets rock, past meets future, and Sabrina Carpenter was right at the center of it. In a later interview, Sabrina revealed what led her to perform that song. It all started during rehearsal. Her guitarist had been playing old rock riffs for fun. When he started playing Sweet Child O' Mine, Sabrina began singing, not as a performance but just for fun. The band froze. Her voice, usually soft and smooth, had this sharp, raspy edge that fit perfectly. Her producer looked up and said, "You need to do that live." At first, Sabrina hesitated. She was nervous about how her fans would react. But then she realized the people who loved her music also loved her courage, so she went for it. She built the performance around that feeling: no backing track, no pop polish, just live instruments and raw emotion. That's what made the performance so powerful. It wasn't planned for fame. It was born out of a spontaneous love for music. And when Sabrina later said, "That night felt like the first time I wasn't pretending to be anyone," fans understood exactly what she meant. The video reached millions, and soon it wasn't just fans watching. Members of the rock community took notice. Duff McKagan, Guns N' Roses bassist, reportedly liked a clip on Instagram. Rock radio stations played Sabrina's cover during morning shows. Even older rock fans who had never listened to her before found themselves impressed by her authenticity. She didn't try to modernize the song, she respected it. When asked what she thought about the response, Sabrina said with a smile, "It means the world to me. Rock and roll was never about fitting in, it was about being real." That line alone could have come straight from Axl himself. It was a full-circle moment, a new generation artist reviving the spirit of a band that once shocked the world. Sabrina Carpenter had proven that rock wasn't dead, it was just waiting for a new voice to bring it back. Beyond the viral fame, the performance carried a deeper message. Sabrina wanted to remind her audience that artists don't have to stay in one box. You can love bubblegum pop and headbanging rock. You can wear glitter one night and leather the next. That kind of freedom is what keeps music alive. She once said, "I think people forget that music is supposed to surprise you." Her Sweet Child O' Mine cover did exactly that. It surprised people into remembering what music is about: emotion, passion, and risk. That night wasn't just a performance. It was a challenge to every young artist who feels trapped by labels. Sabrina proved you can honor the past and still sound like the future. What made the moment even more magical was how her fans reacted. Many of them had never heard of Guns N' Roses before, but after seeing Sabrina's performance, they started exploring classic rock. Old songs were suddenly trending on TikTok again: November Rain, Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle. It was like Sabrina had opened a time portal. Parents and their teenage kids were listening to the same music again. The gap between generations started to fade, even if just for a moment. That's what true artistry does, it connects people who otherwise would never meet. Sabrina didn't just sing a song, she reignited a legacy. Months later, fans still talked about that night. Some called it the moment Sabrina Carpenter became the bridge between eras. She kept performing pop hits, but every now and then she'd surprise the audience with another rock classic. Sometimes Fleetwood Mac, sometimes the Cranberries. She'd found her balance between her roots and her rebellion. Critics began writing about her in a new way, not as a former Disney star or pop singer, but as a musician unafraid to take risks. And that cover, it became a symbol of her evolution, a moment frozen in time where a new kind of artist was born. Looking back, it's clear that one spontaneous cover changed everything. Sabrina Carpenter had done what few could. She broke down the wall between generations and genres. In an age of auto-tuned perfection, she dared to be raw. In a world obsessed with image, she showed honesty. And maybe that's why the image of her, standing in that leather jacket, red bandana under bright lights, still feels iconic. She reminded the world that music doesn't belong to one era, it belongs to anyone brave enough to feel it. Just like Axl did in 1987, just like Sabrina did that night. Rock and roll never dies, it just finds new voices to sing it.